Hello guys and welcome back to a new weapon guide. In today's episode we'll discuss one of the most precise weapons in Battlefield 6, the SOR 556. This weapon is very slow in terms of TTK, but it has its strengths and effective use cases. And of course we are going to talk about everything that matters, so sit back, relax, and let's dive in. Let's start with raw power stats. The SOR has 25 flat damage and 568 RPM rate of fire, which is one of the slowest in the game. It has a common for assault rifles 30 bullet mag, 250 ADS transfer speed, a standard headshot multiplier of 1.34 and a 2.4 second reload time. It's very close to the L85 in terms of power and how it feels, but the SOR has better recoil control out of the box. Let's talk about the damage profile. The SOR has 3 damage zones with damage fall-off points at 21 and 75 meters. To the body we deal 25, 20 and 16.7 damage in the respective zones. It has a standard headshot and hollow point ammo multipliers of 1.34 and 1.5. The really important thing, we have access to synthetic ammo with a headshot multiplier of 1.75. This means we need 4 to 6 bullets to the body to kill our target. For a headshot it cuts the needed shots to kill by 1. Hollow point ammo is useless as it improves STK only in the 3rd zone, and synthetic ammo is great and makes it 3 STK for up to 75 meters. Talking about time to kill parameters for multiplayer, it takes an enormous 318 milliseconds in the 1st zone, which means it is one of the worst TTK guns. If you look at TTK in the 2nd and 3rd zones, it becomes a bit better, but is still pretty much awful. So yeah, it's basically the main problem of SOR we need to deal with. Slow rate of fire makes its TTK very bad and we have to find some workarounds. If you compare the SOR to other assault rifles in the 1st range zone, it obviously takes last place. But these are paper stats and of course we can find effective use cases for this gun. The best I can describe it, it's more of a niche than a versatile gun, and its main strength is precision and ease of use. So now it's time to move on to the Bloom and Recoil section. We'll not go into specifics with attachments, and in case you don't know how they work in Battlefield 6, I've got an ultimate attachment guide for you. The link is in the top right corner and in the description down below. Here's the test for the Recoil and Bloom area of the SOR. Tests were done with 1500 shots in ADS at a 20 meter range. The green area is where most of the bullets are landing. This represents the typical behavior of the gun. The red area is where bullets can land, but in very small amounts. It's more of an exception. And here are examples of single mag patterns. This gun has incredibly stable behavior, and recoil is very easy to control. The main direction of recoil movement is 13 degrees to the right. In case we want to use attachments for maximum recoil reduction, which we don't really need, we can shrink that area to this size. Now we test for hipfire area at a 10 meter range with examples of spray patterns. It will sound like a joke, but this gun has the potential to be a hipfire CS style weapon. Its precision makes the hipfire bloom area very small even without attachments. And if you use all of them, we can shrink the area to this size. A very impressive result, but of course there's a catch with a low fire rate that will ruin its potential a bit. Let's talk about the playstyle. We have very easy to control recoil and an insanely accurate bloom cone. So to be fair, the most optimal and effective way to use this weapon is to play mid-range, where you can still be beamed by the top weapons in the game. And of course, long range, where your precision will help you actually compete. I'd say the perfect range for it is somewhere between 36 to 100 meters, where you won't have the threat of the TR7, SCW-10, shotguns and other CQB monsters. Of course you can play it at shorter ranges too, but I'm talking about being effective and being more safe, as literally almost everything will destroy you in CQB. But man, when we are talking about longer ranges, it can shred. The SOR definitely favors a more patient and defensive gameplay, and the longer the range, the more it actually shines compared to other guns. The thing you need to keep in mind, there will be enemy snipers and they will kill you with the sweet spot mechanics, so your job is to find angles where you either are not in the sweet spot range or don't meet snipers at all. It can be a pain for such playstyle. Talking about recoil, you don't need anything. Second lane and supportive gameplay are in the veins of this weapon. You can pretty much safely, depending on positioning, help your front line or defend any point of interest. And in case you're a crazy player like myself, you can try this gun for CQB and hipfire gameplay. But of course, only for memes. And you need to understand that you are putting yourself in a bad situation. It won't be very effective, but can give you some fun in case you outplay enemies with overpowered CQB guns. One thing worth mentioning here, this gun is not attachment hungry, so I highly advise you to play with synthetic ammo. There are no better attachments for those points for the SOR. It will help you even if you are not intentionally hunting for headshots. Some bullets will hit those heads, and that in turn will help you. If you have anything better than a 15% headshot rate, which is a pretty low stat for the SOR, I recommend using synthetic ammo. And now it's the time to move on to the builds section. I've got here two main builds, one for close to mid range and the other that is perfect for mid and long range. And of course I've got you that self-punishing hipfire build, in case you guys want to play close quarters only. The first build is the balanced one, suitable for close to mid range. For the side, take what you want. Next we need a long suppressor, a heavy extended barrel, a 20-point green laser and synthetic ammo. But Exactman, you said this gun does not need any recoil attachment, so why are we taking a long suppressor? Here's the thing, we really want synthetic ammo for obvious reasons. A green laser for hipfire potential and the heavy extended barrel, as it is one of the best attachments in the entire game. So we are left with 25 points, and if we take a standard suppressor, there's literally only one thing we can use those 5 points for, a 30 bullet fast mag. And as we want to play more defensively and use cover, we don't really need that fast mag, but a long suppressor will help us at longer range situations. It makes us a bit more versatile. The optimal range for this build is 10 to 50 meters. The SOR is a solid defensive machine, even without any attachments, but with this build it gets improvements here and there. Yes, it's not an overpowered weapon by any means, and this is the reason why we have to tune our gameplay to make it efficient. But when you get the feel of positioning in such a playstyle, you will destroy your targets and will definitely be a pain in the ass of your enemies. The second build is Headshotter. For the sight section, take what you want. I personally prefer a 2.5x sight. Next we take a flash hider, a heavy extended barrel, canted stabby, synthetic ammo and a 30 bullet fast mag. The optimal range is 21 to 100 meters, and it can do more. With this build, the SOR becomes deadly accurate and improves your ability to click heads even more. But keep in mind, you don't want to be in CQB with it. Remember, defensive playstyle, knowledge of map routes, playing from cover and patience are your keys to success with this gun. In case you want to make your life easier, pick the support class and take cover with you. That way you'll become a kind of moving defensive point, and you'll have the ability to set your position wherever you want or like. This is the version I used the most, and I believe it is the most effective and optimal build for the SOR and its strength. The third build is Meme CQB. Well, yeah. For the side, take what you want. Next we need a flash hider, a short barrel, a slim handstop, lightweight ammo, a 30 bullet fast mag, a 20-point green laser and a flashlight. This build is oriented for close quarter memes and is suitable for longer ranges, as the SOR is a beast in terms of accuracy. The optimal range is everything up to 50 meters. Never forget that you'll be at a continuous disadvantage. This build requires very high map awareness, personal skill, movement and accuracy to make those pre-fires. Not to forget, the SOR has a very slow fire rate, so every missed bullet lowers your chances very badly. And yeah, it's mostly for memes and 100% not serious or competitive, simply to get some strange type of fun. In conclusion, this weapon is a slow but precise gun. You don't need any attachments to make it work, but it requires a specific playstyle and pace to be effective. I personally don't like low rate of fire weapons, but found some use cases, which I shared with you. The SOR is very similar to the LLG5 in terms of power and what it can do, and it is a very nearby-friendly weapon overall. But of course, those are my thoughts, and I would like to hear what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, press that like and subscribe buttons for future content. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.